We now proceed to Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Prosecutor General, for being here. It's going to be hard for any of us to hold the sovereign nation of Russia or its leader accountable. We need to try and do that. In the meantime, what we can do is make sure that we are on our best behavior. And as you probably know, in America, yesterday was tax day. Americans are forced to send in their hard-earned dollars, oftentimes for things they don't agree with. It's in total about $30 billion in humanitarian aid that we have sent to Ukraine. And I just want to run through a series of dates and reports for you. In 2011, a report by The Atlantic said that citizens of Ukraine thought that bribes were customary and expected. In 2011, the president of Ukraine stated that bribes and corruption cost the country about $2.5 billion, or 10 to 15% of the country's budget. In 2016, a report indicated that between 38 and 42% reported paying a bribe to access basic public services. In 2022, the former head of the Asset Recovery and Management Agency was charged with embezzling $10.6 million in funds. And in 2022, the National Corruption Bureau of Ukraine observed and noted corruption remained common at all levels in the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. Sir, we want to make sure that all our money is safeguarded and that we're not involved not only in losing that money that the American taxpayer works hard for, but in the corruption itself. And I want to bring another series of events to you. The UK Serious Fraud Office froze $23 million of a guy named Zolchevsky's assets. He was in charge of Burisma. On April 13th of 2014, there was Hunter Biden said the contract should start now, not after the upcoming visit of my guy, his guy being the Vice President of the United States. On April 22nd of the same year, Hunter and Archer said that Ukraine must understand the value of Burisma. And on May 12th of 2014, Hunter Biden said started working for the Burisma board at $83,000 in change per month. On May 12th, Zolchevsky's envoy said, use your influence to combat the Ukrainian government's allegations against Burisma. George Kent from our embassy told the DOJ that Burisma paid $7 million in bribes to prosecutors to kill the investigation into bribes for gas and oil permit license. February 10, 2015, Burisma replaced by Viktor Shokin. And then a Soros-funded activist group called the Anti-Corruption Action Center, which is ironic, said that Shokin was not pursuing Zolchevsky, which of course was absolutely not the case, because on February 2nd of the same year, Viktor Shokin issued arrest warrants for Zolchevsky and wanted to seize his assets. And then on February 12th of 2016, President Biden called then President Poroshenko. And then on February 17/18 of 2016, literally 10 days later or thereabouts, Viktor Shokin, the prosecutor general, was fired. May 13th of 2016, Joe Biden, the president now, vice president then, tells President Poroshenko that $1 billion in loan guarantees would be forthcoming. And then in the intervening time, then Vice President Biden went before the Council on Foreign Relations and announced that I told them they had to fire the prosecutor general, or they want to get the loan guarantees. And what do you know? Son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired. And then on 2020, in April of 2020, Viktor Shokin was formally recorded as the victim of an alleged crime by former Vice President Joe Biden. So, sir, with all of that information, in 2019, one of your predecessors as Prosecutor General announced a reinvestigation into Burisma and some of their high-level employees. The Prosecutor General was reopening and auditing criminal cases that his office believed had been mishandled or that the conduct of the previous offices had not been proper. Since that time, it has been announced that those investigations have been put on hold because of the inability to locate the former CEO of Burisma. But we probably can locate Hunter Biden. Mr. Kostin, what is your office's position that Burisma needs further investigation, and will you commit to investigating Burisma to the full extent, no matter what pushback you get and no matter who you need to call as a witness, including Americans that might be involved in the corruption and malfeasance and loss and theft of taxpayer money in your country?
Congressman, you started with the dates and facts. I will add one date and fact. March 2023. By the decision of GRECO, anti-corruption wing of the Council of Europe, Ukraine is excluded from the blacklist of countries who are not fighting against corruption. For our work fighting corruption against members of the parliament, prosecutors and judges.
We congratulate you for that.
Thank you. This is the latest achievement in anti-corruption initiatives. I would also like to mention that in course of coming last months, in addition to the chair of Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, whom I appointed in late July last year, we have already new director of National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine appointed after open selection procedure. And also, High Anti-Corruption Court has elected the president of the court. So all three bodies are equipped with the current leadership. With regard to case you have mentioned, it's not, unfortunately, the topic of our committee hearing. So I am not entitled at the moment to give you more information about this case, as our committee hearing are related to war crimes. And with regard to all financial aid we receive, I have mentioned our two latest achievements on the level on our work against fighting against corruption. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Congressman Perry.